What's up? I'm Stephen Ryan, CEO and founder of ConveYour.com, and I'm excited to show you a new feature we have for ConveYour that lets you bundle multiple lessons that you're going to release in your course as kind of like one single experience. So this is really very similar to kind of like an Instagram or Facebook story where you can combine multiple posts into kind of feeling like one post. And the reason why they did that, guys, is because they did that to boost engagement, right? So instead of having to look at many posts and have to scroll through each one and click on each one, it's all just kind of added together. And this is really helpful to kind of reduce the clutter in your portal. So if you have multiple lessons that you've already built out, or you have some review that you want to do of a previous day, you don't have to have as many items showing up in the course index. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm looking here at the multi-lesson release example. And let's say on the initial day of training, I've got this rule-based printing product video where it's going to go through and train a rep on some product, right? Then the next day, I have some sales basics training that I want to release. But look at this down here where it says last lessons refresher. So I can now release extra lessons that will show up after the first initial lesson, that day's training is completed. And what this, maybe you're wondering, like, why not just put it all in the sales training basics? Would that just make sense? Well, one of the big things that we promote with ConveYour around how you build your training is to keep your training your lessons super tight, right? Keep them small and atomic so that you can reuse them in many different courses and in the on-demand training section. That way, you're not having to recreate the wheel over and over, and you're not creating dependencies from one lesson to another. They really kind of stand alone on their own 2 feet. All right. And so that's what we're allowing you to do here. Essentially, instead of having to drop in this refresher quiz to the end of this lesson, or release this refresher quiz as a second item for the day two training, you can just kind of add it as an experience for the sales basics. Okay. But if you wanted to come in here and tweak this and remove it, then you're not having to change the lesson. Do you see what I'm saying? So let's try this out. I'm going to go ahead and hit test. And so it's going to build out the lesson for us, the campaign. And we have our rule-based printing. Now, if I was really not a tester, I'd have my first day, and then the next day I'd receive another one via text message to get into the lesson. But here, I'm gonna go straight to the second day, and you'll see I have my main lesson, purposely very basic, just to show you the example. I'm gonna click next, and then it's gonna show me a video, and then I'm gonna hit finish, and watch. It takes me straight to the refresher. And if I hit the back button here, it's gonna take me right back to the last leaf or page of the first lesson. So it's just like this seamless experience to go. But when I click back here, I still only am seeing one lesson, right? One lesson banner. So I can finish this out and then move on, and it's going to take me to the next available lesson after I finish this lesson, okay? So again, it's like you can take multiple lessons and bundle them together, and the person going through the training doesn't actually know that they're separate lessons, really. It's just makes it kind of seamless. So we're all about making it so that if you really think about the constraint you have on your people that you have, is the biggest constraint is always going to be the amount of time that you have with your reps out in the field, with your people out in the field. And so if you can make that experience, that daily training feel super smooth, and they don't have to do a lot of clicks to look at a lot of items, and they can all just be in kind of like one experience, that's really beneficial. And you get the added benefit of not having to muddy the water, so to speak, creating lessons that are just like monster lessons with lots of quizzes. Because again, just to drill home a concept, if I were to take the items here, the refresher quiz items, and stick them in that lesson here, that sales training basics, then essentially I've created a dependency. I've essentially said that for the sales training basics to be used anywhere, people have to know about our first lesson in the course. And that, again, creates rework for you. So this keeps things separate, and think of them kind of like chapters in a book. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let us know.